Proof is proof. Whether it's a batshit crazy person or a totally normal person finding the proof, proof is proof. Over the weekend, an interesting post was put up by Candace Owens over on X. And quite frankly, it terrifies me, and it should terrify every single one of you as well. So as you guys know, Candace Owens has been following a couple of pretty interesting investigations, the last couple being the investigation into Brigitte Macron, which I really didn't follow too closely because, quite frankly, I don't care about the French government. I really don't care what they're doing. I don't care if, the head of the French government is male or female. It doesn't really make a difference to me. But the things that she did uncover in that investigation were getting creepier and creepier. And so I started to take notice and started kind of picking up on it towards the end. Then September 10th happens and Charlie Kirk is assassinated, and Candace happened to be very close with Charlie Kirk, and so she went on a mission. You guys saw the video I posted that Candace said she wants war. She wants war with all of these people who she felt that had a hand in assassinating Charlie Kirk. She has since uncovered so much proof, so many anomalies, so much propaganda and bullshit from all kind of angles, okay? And then as of last week, she found a connection to France. And so things are starting to look very suspicious when it comes to France and Israel and Turning Point USA and the Charlie Kirk assassination. And Candace starts kind of building this story that happens to intertwine all of these things. But on November 22nd, in the middle of the night, Candace posts on X and sounds the alarm. I think it's worth it to note that prior to this, she actually has activated, I don't know what they call it, the dead man switch or something to that effect, where something happens to her. A bunch of people have some information that she sent to them that it's kind of like, if something happens to me, publish this. However, on November 22nd, an urgent post comes out on Candace Owens' account. And it reads, 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. Candace does not share things publicly that she doesn't have proof of in one way or another, kind of like the high-ranking employee of the French government. Now, before she went into action, she verified that this person is indeed a high-ranking employee of the French government. And so think about it. If a high-ranking employee of the French government contacts you and gives you information, you might tend to believe them, or at least believe the person telling you that the high-ranking employee of the French government contacted them, right? Because you believe, I totally believe that, yes, indeed, a high-ranking employee of the French government contacted Candace. She fact-checked the entire thing, found out that this person is credible. So this post does strike me as something very urgent and something very important. So let's read on. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light was given to a small team in National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. Now, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but you can read it right there. I'm told there is one Israeli that is on this assassination squad, and the plans were formalized. So she is stating that this high-ranking employee of the French government claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for her assassination. And she has shared this publicly. All right. This is not something to take lightly. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they were well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Broussard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted, since this source claims our leaders are aware. Our leaders are aware, okay? But I have more specific information, which is definitely verifiable should they care to reach out to me. So, evidently, the American government leaders have not reached out to Candace as of yet, but she does have specific information, which is definitely verifiable, aka proof. So the woman is saying, listen, I have proof that an assassination attempt is imminent, but our government has not reached out to her as of the 22nd. To the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you truly. Let all be revealed. 39 million views. Let's see if our government has decided to do anything or what people have said in reaction to this. Because I've seen quite a few articles gaslighting this woman and gaslighting this whole situation, trying to make us think that she's a lunatic. She's nuts, right? She's crazy. I do find it funny, though, how a crazy person who's absolutely bonkers and all the things they're trying to tell us about Candace, I find it funny how the woman has the #1 podcast, I think, in the world. It might be in the world, at least in the US, but I think it's in the world. I don't think a crazy person could hold that position. And, I think people who are trying to gaslight us and say she's crazy are the ones we really need to look out for, right? We need to keep an eye on those people because they're trying to make this like it's not credible, even though she comes with something called proof. Let's have a look at what people have to say about this. What Candace just revealed is a full-scale 9/11 emergency for her personal safety. This is a full-blown assassination threat, and anyone with a beating heart should understand that she needs maximum protection and prayers. Here's the life-altering, deadly pattern everyone must see. On September 10th, New Jersey District Court, the Department of Justice documented Braverman's violent threat to kill Candace and her family. An official, time-stamped warning preserved in federal filings. So there have been attempts and plans made by others. So it's not like Candace is crazy when she posts something saying that her life is in danger by a lunatic when it's happened before. And we've got it time-stamped and preserved in federal filings that it is actually true. Someone in the past has tried to have her killed. Then exactly 1 year later, on September 10th, Charlie was assassinated. 365 days exactly. Same exact date, 1 year apart. And now Candace is disclosing credible intelligence that a professional operation involving alleged foreign-trained units and multi-state coordination has been greenlit to take her out. They will do anything to silence her. They will buy off, pay off, threaten, blackmail attorneys, judges, politicians, federal agencies, FBI insiders, bureaucrats, state officials, media operatives, anyone, any institution, any level of power. Candace's safety and her family's safety must now be a national level priority. Because silence after this point isn't neutrality, it's complicity. Pray for Candace and her family. And here, is the proof. Doris Lorenzo says, in light of this extraordinary allegations, one thing is clear. If even a fraction of this is true, the implications are not only geopolitical, they are moral, legal, and human. The claim that a sitting head of state has authorized the extrajudicial assassination of a United States citizen on foreign or domestic soil is not just a diplomatic crisis, it is a direct assault on the rule of law, national sovereignty, and the foundational principles of the democratic governance. Regardless of one's political alignment or opinion of Candace Owens, no citizen, no journalist, no commentator, no dissident should ever face state-sanctioned violence for speech. The right to dissent is not a partisan privilege, it is a constitutional guarantee. If Candace Owens and her family are in danger, they deserve immediate protection, transparency, and due process. This is not a moment for silence nor for partisan calculation. It is a moment for moral clarity and institutional courage. We urge those in positions of authority in Congress, in the intelligence community, and in the executive branch to take these claims seriously, to investigate them thoroughly, and to ensure that no American citizen is left unprotected in the face of foreign or domestic threats. Candace Owens' family, may you be shielded by truth, law, and the vigilance of those who still believe in the sanctity of life and liberty. And to those who know more, now is the time to speak. Silence is complicity. Let all be revealed, but let it be done with evidence, accountability, and the full weight of justice. And, she sent this to everybody. And of course, I retweeted it, but I think it's pretty obvious that if something does happen to Candace from this point on, our government is going to be complicit. For those intent on mocking Candace about her assertion that there is a plot to have her murdered, I would ask you to consider 2 points. The Macrons of France believe that broadcaster Candace Owens has engaged in a treasonous campaign against them that has seen them openly mocked, ridiculed, and laughed at, both at home and abroad. Candace represents a nascent problem that they believe must now be permanently stopped. This is utterly believable, and these types of actions are not new. During World War II, and then they go on to talk about a broadcaster named Lord Haha and how he was killed. Princess Diana of the British royal family wrote a letter detailing that she was going to be murdered. That information was passed to her by a member of MI6, allegedly. That Candace Owens is sounding the alarm about her possible murder is sound, rational thinking. It is beyond a doubt that she has seriously damaged the Macrons, whose relationship has seemingly imploded and started off criminally. Candace is also considered a repugnant anti-Semite, which she is not, by the Israel lobby, and was labeled an enemy of the Jews, a clarion call for her murder. Her friend Tucker Carlson should also be concerned for his personal safety after being disgracefully labeled as Adolf Hitler. So do I believe Candace Owens? I believe in the evidence. In my mind, empirical evidence counts. I hope she has trustworthy security staff. And just the fact that, you know what, just for the simple fact that they hate Tucker Carlson, I'm now going to start following him as well. Everyone who reads this message should drop a comment. If the Trump administration is aware of this and didn't reach out to you, and God forbid if that includes by extension any foreknowledge or involvement with the Charlie Kirk assassination, then that is a scandal that should bring down the Trump administration. And I believe it will if something does happen to her. I truly believe this will be the straw that breaks the camel's back. The reason for the very existence of government is to protect American citizens. Otherwise, it is hopelessly corrupt and not fit for purpose. And I agree. Now let's go back to Candace's original post, because there have been updates posted throughout the weekend. Now she is due to go live on her podcast any minute now. I'm hoping that she is all right. And, I hope that we do end up seeing something, because this is terrifying. This is terrifying to me. So this was posted on November 22nd. A few people, as you see, have retweeted this. 97,000 people have retweeted this. DC Drano says, if this is verified, how is this not an act of war? I retweeted that because I would like to know that as well. If this is verified, how is this not an act of war? You don't just come onto our country and murder somebody. In fact, I truly question now Charlie Kirk's assassination because of Candace. And how is that not an act of war if that is what happened to Charlie Kirk as well? I'm just shocked our American government allows this type of behavior. I'm totally shocked. Mel just Googled French Secret Intelligence Service assassinations, and the results are wild. Let's take a look at some of those results, shall we? A hit squad of French secret agents hired for contract killings. 4 French intelligence agents have been arrested on suspicions of being in a hit squad hired for contract killings. These agents, 3 from DGSE, the French MI6, and the 4th retired from the DGSI, the French MI5, have been charged with attempted murder over a plot to kill a respected businesswoman. Funny how they're out here trying to kill respectable women. And here is August 5th, 2020. The French intelligence agents were charged in alleged murder plot. The Paris prosecutor's office said it has filed 2 preliminary attempted murder charges against 2 agents from France's foreign intelligence agency over an alleged to kill a 55-year-old woman last month in the suburb of Paris. And of course, here we go. Mossad accomplices, how Israel relied on foreign intelligence agencies to organize its killing campaigns. These are all articles that you find when you Google this. French ex-spy suspected of Congo-Brazzaville plot shot dead in the out. Allegedly, there are French Secret Intelligence Service assassinations out there, so it's not crazy. Candace then tweets out, there will be no official response from the Elysee Palace because what I have shared is true, and I have evidence to support my claim. I even have names. They're likely trying to figure out where the leak came from. We are talking about the murder of citizens for speech. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't really understand. It's one of the most important things about being an American citizen is our constitutional rights. And freedom of speech is one of them. And we're talking about the murder of citizens for their speech. It's ridiculous, especially because she has evidence to support her claim. So what is that? You have proof? Oh, you have proof. Okay, so the woman has proof, and yet they're out here on the news gaslighting us using words like crazy and conspiracy theory. It's ridiculous. I mean, these are just all these old, it seems like these old white men who think that shit still works. I mean, what are you talking about? She's obviously not crazy. She has proof. It's not a conspiracy theory when you have proof, okay? It goes from theory to proven when you have proof. It is somebody conspiring to plot against this woman, and it's proven if she has proof. Am I right? You old white fucks. No, we don't believe you. So then on the 23rd, she digs a little further, which, mind you, shouldn't be her responsibility at this point because she's reported it to our government. So this shouldn't be her responsibility to have to dig into this paper trail for her own assassination, okay? Somebody else should have done this and should have had her under protective custody by now. Her and her entire family. This is disgusting that this is playing out in front of us and we're all just sitting here while the government does what? Nothing. I'm telling you, they've woken up way too many people with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, who I didn't even like, by the way, okay? Didn't even like the guy. But the entire thing with his assassination and how suspicious everything is and the actual federal government covering things up, what they're doing, it's opened my eyes to an entire bigger picture. And I think that's the problem. They've opened tons of our eyes. More than they thought they would. I think it had the opposite effect of what they were hoping for. And so if something does happen to Candace, I think what's going to happen next is going to be written in history for generations to come. Because I can't even imagine the chaos that's going to erupt in this country if something happens to her. I mean, I don't care what the official story would be. No one is going to believe it. And this entire country is going to be in an uproar. It's never going to be the same. It will never be the same. You've already opened our eyes when when disposed of Charlie Kirk. All right. So now if this continues on and we're all watching it happen and we've got proof, it's done. It's done deal. And these stupid old white fuckers out here trying to gaslight us all, like, out of here. It's not even insulting anymore because they are the ones that are just so stupid that they think the gaslighting techniques and tactics will still work. Just like when they say the great Mikey McCoy, the hero Mikey McCoy, the brave Mikey McCoy, who took a phone call as soon as Charlie was shot. He made a phone call. God damn, he needs to go down in history. Fucking serious? Like, oh my God, it's so ridiculous. Anyways, let's get back to this plot about Candace, all right? If something does happen to Candace, I mean, we're all awake now. We're all watching it. So think about it. Think about what you do next. She's told that the payments for the assassination are running through Club Descent in France. This means there's a paper trail, and I encourage the patriots of France to do what you can to uncover it. I would again like to stress that there was a French female assassin, but also a male Israeli assassin that were selected to kill me. These are joint state operations. The fact that somebody has to post this because no one is helping her is crazy. And here we have it. It is not a coincidence that the French Legionnaires were in the United States training with our Marines for 3 weeks. When those 3 weeks ended in California, another military training exercise began alongside civilians at Camp Riley in Minnesota. French foreign legionnaires were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. They were not the only ones, but they were involved. And you look it up and an AI overview, literally AI overview on Google tells us in August of 2025, U.S. Marines and French foreign legionnaires from the 2nd Foreign Infantry Regiment trained together at the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center in California as part of the service level training exercise. The exercise, which ran from August 4th through the 25th, focused on improving interoperability between the two allied forces through realistic scenarios like close quarters combat and urban terrain training. Now, you add that in with all the stops that these Egyptian planes made in France, following around Erica Kirk at 72 places leading up to the death of Charlie Kirk. You add all that in, what have you got? She painted a brilliant picture for us all. Trust me when I say we all see it clear as day. Like, she did a fabulous job. All right. Then Pavel Durov posted, after reviewing everything Charlie Kirk has ever said about Macron's France, I find Candace's info about French involvement in his death entirely plausible. Charlie even called for 300% tariffs on France until the charges against me were dropped. Well-connected people have told me that French intelligence services are not exactly unknown for assassinations, a point supported by public sources. And this is Club Descent's right here with all these. Look at these people, all a bunch of old white men. Do you see it? The whole table full of these old bastards. Look at this. The club presents itself as a simple association of bon vivants and food lovers and connoisseurs, but the reality is far less innocuous in our country, where it has become customary to settle major national affairs over a meal. Goes on to talk about, heads of state and people that of importance sitting down to a meal and discussing major national affairs. Candace says that she has informed people in the federal government and the White House of the France and Israeli assassination plot and am willing to provide full details, as well as the name of the assassins and international accounts in France and Canada through which money was exchanged. Also, now she actually found the accounts where the money was exchanged. So she has actual proof that money was exchanged for her killing. And she's still saying that she's going to provide that to the federal government and the White House, who should have already known this information because they should have been investigating this from the very beginning. She says, beyond that, I've shared more information with the public regarding the Brigitte story I was investigating at the time of Charlie's assassination. This is all available on my Instagram stories. So I urge everybody to go check it out. If you've not seen it, you definitely should. She says, thank you all for reaching out and praying for my family. Now she says, when everything is said and done and the public learns that Macron allegedly moved $1.5 million for my assassination, how will the world respond? And we're going to repost that and like that as well. This is tyranny at its best. What's going on? Is our government not doing anything? What in the world is happening? You're just going to die when you see what people are saying, all right?
Commentator and conspiracy theorist Candace Owens believes French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte Macron are plotting to assassinate her. According to an outlandish, lengthy tweet she fired off.
Oh, here we have it. The gaslighting languages from these media outlets. Do you hear it already? It's like in the first few sentences. Outlandish, lengthy tweet. What's outlandish isn't her tweet, because it's actually very plausible. What's outlandish is our government not responding in any way, shape, or form to perhaps a foreign entity possibly going to murder somebody on U.S. soil. That's what's outlandish, okay? So please, again, we've been woken up to your programming. We hear it loud and clear. You're trying to say this is outlandish, and you're trying to get us to think we're crazy if we believe it. It's not outlandish if you have proof, you dumbass.
Over the weekend. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple.
Like if a high-ranking employee of the French government contacts anybody, okay, and is proven to be an actual high-ranking employee, and they contact you and tell you that, this is happening, that's enough to scare anybody to make a public tweet. So it's not outlandish at all.
I have deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happened. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination, she wrote on November 22nd. In the post, Owens went on to claim she was told formalized assassination plans were greenlit to be executed by a team in the elite French Special Ops Unit, National Gendarmerie Intervention Group, while making sure to specify that there was one Israeli among the alleged assassination squad. She also warned in the post that the supposed assassination plot also endangers French independent journalist Xavier Poussard, who has also vehemently peddled conspiracy theories about the gender and sexuality of Brigitte Macron.
And here's the thing. Who cares what gender you are? Literally, who cares? If I heard nothing else, I've heard whatever they're saying is probably true because you want to shut them up that bad, in my personal opinion. So, I mean, just doing this alone is making us look even harder at you and believing what they're saying even more. It's so stupid, so stupid. Again, it's these, old white dudes.
Owens later posted that she has evidence to support her claims, including names and international accounts through which money was exchanged.
Okay, so she has proof. Names and accounts where money was exchanged. She followed the money. She now has a paper trail, but it's outlandish. What? How's it? So confused.
And that she has informed the federal government and the White House of what she called the French and Israeli assassination plot. In her initial post, she also claimed that Charlie Kirk's assassin was allegedly connected to the French government, saying she was told he had trained with a French brigade, which she wrote was not a coincidence in a later post.
Yeah. I don't think it was a coincidence either, to be honest. It's a little too crazy.
And while many of the comments went on to call the lengthy tirade bat crazy or a psychiatric breakdown in real time,
And I love those ones because, as I said, you can't gain a following of 5 million people and be the number one podcast in the world if you're batshit crazy. You just can't accomplish those things, And if you've ever heard Candace speak, you can clearly see she's not crazy.
Owens' slew of allegations comes amid a lengthy feud between the conspiracy theorist and the French president and first lady. The couple has been afflicted for years since Emmanuel Macron's presidential win in 2017 by unsubstantiated conspiracy theories being spread online, most notably by Owens, claiming Brigitte is a transgender woman who was initially born a man named Jean-Michel Trogneux, which is the name of Brigitte's brother. After she was slapped with a defamation lawsuit by the Macrons in July, Owens doubled down on her comments about the French First Lady.
You were born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood, figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine.
In January, Owens ran an 8-part podcast series in which she made the wild claims about the couple, who met when Brigitte was the future French leader's school teacher in 1993. She was 39 and he was 15 at the time. I believe that Emmanuel Macron is a homosexual man that was groomed from his youth, Owens said in one of the episodes. I believe the individual who groomed him is now his wife. I believe his wife was born Jean-Michel Trogneux and transitioned in his early 30s, and I believe that the entire state is colluding to protect that secret, she said. She has also amplified a grab bag of conspiracy theories, such as questioning the moon landing and promoting COVID-19 vaccine misinformation.
Oh, wow. So you mean all the public's interests? I can't stand it. So needless to say, we're waiting Candace's podcast to start up. Hopefully she is safe. Hopefully she's okay. I hope the federal government is getting involved and trying to get to the bottom of this. And again, if all of this is found to be true and something does happen to Candace, I can't even imagine what's going to erupt here in the United States of America. And quite frankly, it'll be their own fault. They pried our eyes open with the death of Charlie Kirk. We're all kind of in the same mindset. And these old white dudes that continue to call Candace crazy and continue to peddle this gaslit stories of how nuts she is. It's just like, we've heard this plenty of times. But at the end of the day, she can be batshit crazy all she wants. It doesn't negate the proof that she has found. Okay? Proof is proof. Whether it's a batshit crazy person or a totally normal person finding the proof is proof. So what difference does it make, even if she is crazy? Think of that, you old fucks. Anyways, all we can do is wait to see what unfolds, and I will keep you guys posted. I will see you on the next one.